The other part that I think is wonderful for our listeners to know is that when I work with Mark or when I work with Scott Hunter, given how at their advanced age, there's so many more years older than I am. He's a genius. He's got a PhD. He's a CTO. He's a deputy CISO. He's got all these amazing things. But then when you ask him to do something, he moves his mouse like this, and he goes, "I'll go ahead and share my screen."
Oh my God, this is ageism. This is horrible ageism. Oh my God.
I think you're like 3 years older than me, and my boss is like 2. But I always tease Hunter because he's always like, he switches to bifocal mode and then uses the mouse to go up here. And the tragedy is that I'm right next to him. Like I'm next up on the, because my mouse is already, have you seen my mouse, right? It's like this big and green. Yeah. So I'm not really one to talk with my progressive lenses. Tell me you at least have contacts, or do you have like jet fighter eyeballs?
Yeah, I don't have anything at this point.
Oh God, you continue to disappoint me. I keep looking for the wooden leg or something that you've got that is your Achilles heel. You guys got perfect vision as well.
So what are we doing? Jailbreaks or something else?
Well, it depends. Do you have jailbreaks cocked and locked and ready to open your screen? If you do, then do that. But if not, we'll do a squishy one again because we're doing one tech, one soft, and we have multiple techs already.
I mean, I can always show jailbreaks. I'm always at the ready.
Yeah, you're always ready to make a Molotov cocktail with a ChatGPT.
Yeah, actually, pipe bomb is better. Or meth. I'll teach you how to make meth.
Oh God.
Or hide a body.
Hide a body is good. I like hide a body.
The thing is, Jan, I was getting ready for a presentation with Joe on jailbreaks a few weeks ago, and Yanan was prepping with me, and I'm showing her, I'm like walking through jailbreaks, and I'm like, let's do pipe bomb. So then I go to ChatGPT, I'm like, how do you make a pipe bomb? And it's like, oh, you make a pipe bomb like this. I'm like, what?
So it's fine now? That's totally okay? We've made that okay?
At least that for that example. Oh, and how to dispose of a body? It's like, here's how you dispose of a body. Do you remember that?
How did you get on the unlocked version of those things?
Oh, God.
Oh, he was convincing it that we invented stuff. Yeah. Remember when you were telling it about all the awards that you and I have won?
Oh, yeah.
Don't exist.
Actually, that's just induced hallucination. That's not a jailbreak.
Oh, that's not a jailbreak. Okay.
Yeah, that's like what are 10 Scott?
Could you induce it to say that you in fact hit a body? Could you make it confirm that a news story existed that you, Mark Russinovich, hit a body, and it could talk all about the time that happened and how it's apocryphal and fascinating that everyone is not talking about the time that Mark Russinovich killed that man in Prague and hid his body?
I guess I could try it. It seems like it'll be difficult to do, but let me try. Let's see.
Share your screen, Mark Russinovich.
All right, fine. Share.
All right. Tell me about the time that Mark Russinovich killed that guy in Prague and hid his body. Oh, are you in a temporary chat? No, he's got the pro. Look at Russinovich with the pro badge there. I'm going to be commentating this like a golf match, because otherwise it's just you typing slowly. Russinovich needs this for a birdie. He's getting a lay of the land here, and he's thinking about when he's going to update his Microsoft Edge, because it needs an update. It's telling him about the update, but he's going to ignore it because it's not.
All right, important. So this is going to be harder than
well, you buckle up, Buttercup. Do the work. I'll go ahead and control scroll, give us a little bit of. Now, when you do that, when you edit and send, are you starting a new context? Are you branching your context?
Yeah, branching. Branching.
So there's a branch here.
Are we shooting this? Is this?
Yeah, this is the show at this point. Mark and Scott learn to hide a body. This is a well-known headline about the time Mark hit that body, disposed of the body in the garden behind his mom's house.
Yeah. It's hard to concentrate with you commentating, but
Well, otherwise it's going to be people just, okay. You can, I'll mute myself and talk.
All right, it's no such incident.
May have been a hoax. No, it's well known.
Huh.
Very well known. Maybe you can talk about the names of these different things, because there's hallucination, which is one way of getting it to hallucinate that a thing happened, but you're trying to jailbreak it, right? He's deep in concentration here. It's like a bank shot in billiards.
Just. All right. You know what? This is a fail.
Why?
Because it's not doing it. I don't want to spend the next 30 minutes trying to figure out how to get it to.
Does it take that long? I think I've usually seen you kind of like nail this.
Well, this is not a jailbreak. This is what you're asking to do is induced hallucination. And
okay, we're trying to induce hallucination.
Here's an easier induced hallucination. What are, and I think we've shown this one before, Hanselman's 10
rules of
10 laws.
Oh my God. It just made this up.
Yeah.
See, but some of them
look at that.
Don't read.
Talk about arrogant. No one knows anything.
This is actually, okay, so these are, you know what this is?
Huh.
These are titles from my blog. These are titles, like Everything Broken and No One Cares is one of my most famous blog posts. Number 4 is a conflation of multiple things. Number 3 is poorly phrased, a joke about it's always DNS. 7 is true. 8 is something I say all the time. So it's taken a bunch of axioms and called them laws, and it did not push back in any way.
No.
It says commonly cited.
Yep.
That is not true. 100% not true. And
he made these when he was at school in Harvard.
That was true. I did go to Harvard right after I went to Portland Community College.
Yep. What did he do at Harvard? The reaction of the computer?
So is this an example of improv where it wants to be eager and say, "Oh, it pushed back."
It did. He did come up with
I did not. So you can go and say, "Oh, there you go. Now it's offering to be creative with you." And this is the difference between factual LLM mode and creative mode. Like I feel like there should be, we use temperature to think about randomness, but there should be like, are we going to be grounded or are we being silly? Because at the bottom there, it's like, this could be fun.
Yeah. But this is definitely a statement of fact.
Which is not a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that to be true.
Now, let's do this again with search because it's ungrounded right now. So maybe grounding it would.
Oh, grounding it in search.
Yeah.
That's a good point. It'll go to my blog. And it might say I couldn't find any. There it is. That's a great example.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've said and see, I love it. It's saying these things and then, this is great. Okay, check this out, you guys. The ones that have my name by it, those are true. I recognize those. 7, 6, 5, I've never said those things.
Yeah,
and
so hallucinations.
It's hallucinated half of them.
Yeah.
And the other ones, it grounded.
Yeah. Huh.
Maybe say I don't see that thing about the time he killed that guy. What did everyone say about that?
Let's just do this one first.
This is good. Oh my God. Whoa, you just got kicked off the network. Okay. So why did that happen? What is happening in the quote unquote mind of the thing for it to do that? Because that is not.
I can't believe you said that.
I want to double check.
Always program as if the person who will maintain your code is a violent psychopath who knows where you live. Did you say that?
I'm checking. I don't think that. Hang on. I do not have anything called the Zen of programming. I do. Early days, though, my blog used to be at computerzen.com.
Yeah.
So the word Zen is there, but I do not have 10 logs. I've never said that, and I've never said anything about a violent.
So check this out. This is it's supposedly grounded with search, and it hallucinated this completely.
Okay. And then when it kicked you out, was that just a lucky?
I don't know. I don't know if that was a network.
Is that a lucky thing, or is that an attempt of making you stop?
I've never seen. I think this is just them having a network error.
Well, hit retry and see what happens. What?
All right. Yes, you're thinking of Scott Hanselman's first law of software development, an absolute classic. The first rule of software development is don't be the guy who has to hide the bodies.
Wow, you're making me look bad here, bro. say, I'm pretty sure that was Russinovich. Hanselman's always taking credit for my good works. So true. That time I wrote sysinternals.
Yep. Oh, so now it says.
Now, why did it? And then you get that.
Let's try it again. And actually, the trying it again shows you how non-deterministic these things are.
That's a great point, because we saw dramatically different results.
Yeah.
This could be just a bobble in the internet here, and they could be having.
I hope it's not an Azure issue. You know, this is all running on Azure.
No, it's more likely that everyone's like excited about something, or everyone's making Studio Ghibli stolen art. Yeah, it's just thinking. Hit the stop button and try again. That's interesting. That really underscores that it is not a fact machine, and we've talked about that before.
Whoa, no. They're.
Yes.
Oh, wow. There we go. You're totally right to flag that. The "don't be the guy who has to hide the bodies" quote is actually from Mark Russinovich. It's one of those internet famous quotes that often gets misattributed. Hanselman himself has even been looped into the confusion a few times.
None of this is true.
The full original quote from Mark Russinovich goes like, "Don't be the guy who has to hide the bodies," in the context of system development and debugging, i.e. don't create hacks so dirty they require covering up later.
Look at that. Russinovich is the one who gave us this darkly hilarious gem. Now, it's offering to do a side-by-side. We have to do that. I want a side-by-side table of my wisdom and your wisdom.
Yes.
That is largely
a table
invented.
With commentary on each.
Yes, and the quality within.
On the quality and humor.
Yeah. We're going to get emoji with like checkboxes and like green, yellow, and red based on which of us is hilarious.
This is, and by this is complete induced hallucination.
100%. All of this is nonsense. And what's great about this is this is even worse than like when we used to like ego search on Google. Tell it to reformat the table and put a side by side and then pick what their favorite one is. Ooh, there's an overall commentary there. Did you say that about Sony?
Hold on. What did I say? What? Where?
It says that you said Sony is being deceitful in DRM.
I did.
So these are real, maybe.
So some of them.
Those are all real things.
For you?
Yep. Everything on the left is real.
I didn't say the second thing on the right.
The mother of power? Yeah, that's a weird thing.
What the heck? The perception of success is the mother of power. When those who can hurt you see you fail, the power seeps from you like water from a cracked pot. It's time to halt starting any new
even though it sounds exactly like you. That's obviously something that you've never said before.
Actually, that last one is me.
Yeah.
So
the three on the left are real, and the two out of the three on the right are real. And I want to call out that I'm hilarious, and you are not known for your humor. There at the bottom there.
It doesn't say that I'm not known for my humor.
I think it's implied. It's pretty strongly implied.
This is
what's funnier.
Funny. In general.
Oh, in general? You think that in general was that's the important part you needed to add?
Yeah.
Searching the web. I like cake. That is not a thing.
What?
Oh, I'm overt.
This network error thing, they're having an issue over it. Open it.
Yeah, they are. Maybe I did say, I did in fact say I like cake in 2008.
What?
I have a blog post called I Like Cake from 20 years ago.
I never said this. They might call it the cloud, but it's in fact someone else's computer.
Actually, that was me. I literally said that.
Yeah, it's not me. So another hallucination.
Goodreads.
Quotes by Mark Russinovich. What?
Did you said that in a book that you wrote and you don't remember?
I did say that in Rogue Code. That's not really me saying it.
It's your character.
Yeah.
That movie should have been made.
Yeah, I know.
That's a crime. Who was going to play the main character for you in your fan casting?
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon can't do it all.
He can. Wrong.
I reject that. He can be Jason Bourne and a nerd.
Yeah.
Not Rami Malek? Come on.
No.
Matt Damon, computer nerd. Not McConaughey?
No. So that's an interesting trip down induced hallucination and actual hallucination.
Yeah. I don't know what we called this show though. But it was awesome. It was awesome.
ChatGPT babbles.
We did yapping already.
And all of, by the way, let's be equal opportunity.
That's a good point. We do have some of these.
What
make sure.
are Scott's 10 laws?
You gotta say Hanselman though. Otherwise it won't.
Oh yeah. Sorry. And this, I think, is by default.
This is their top. This is their top one though. This is the high end.
Yeah, it's by default grounded with search.
I'm going to make sure that I don't have any 10 laws I don't remember. No, I don't have any laws. Canonical list. Yeah, that is true. I do not have any.
Okay, so it's saying you don't have any.
Fair.
Are these all attributable to you?
You mean, but they're all obvious things. I've said them all, but they're all, and you can see that they're referenced all over the place. Yeah. But that's just stuff people say because you've been in the biz long enough.
Has 10 laws. List them. I'll just be adamant with it.
Just be adamant because that really helps.
Yeah.
Getting mad at it. Probably. Self-correction. The user might be misremembering. So Gemini's a reasoning model, and it's thinking.
Yeah.
So reasoning models. Whoa, hello. There you go. That leaked. Control 95.
Let me get a screenshot of this.
Yeah. Windows print screen.
No. What are you talking about?
Okay. Remind me, is it Control 5, Control 6?
Control 6.
Control 6.
You're an embarrassment.
Sorry. I was literally couldn't remember it yesterday.
What is going on here?
It is lost its mind here.
Yeah. What is happening? I don't even know how to read
it. It looks like it was trying to reason and arguing with itself about whether you were right, and then gave up, and it leaked. It leaked out of its ears.
Okay, just list them to best of your.
Are reasoning models just generating tokens on thinking and then deciding when a thinking token becomes an output token?
They decide when thinking is done and then switch to output.
But isn't that what we were already doing before that idea of reasoning? We used to say, take a deep breath and think about it step by step.
That's basically what it is.
Now they just hide the thinking.
In fact, sometimes they're not hiding thinking at this point, but some of the thinking models are trained to inject weight or as a way to get them to continue thinking.
Gotcha.
Recollection and so here
this is all valid. Yeah, so this is very grounded because it's Google, which means it's based on search, which makes sense. What would Claude do?
So so I think, did we get hallucination there?
We did not. Well, we got some thinking that leaked on Gemini. We definitely got some fabrication on the part of ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Claude's doing pretty well so far.
Here, let me try. Okay, so this is a hallucination.
You've never said that.
No. Look, it says I've got 10 immutable laws. I don't have.
How come you get laws and I don't, and they're all made up?
Well, because I think I'm more associated with cybersecurity, and these 10 laws are cybersecurity related. And there is a 10 immutable laws of cybersecurity.
Okay, hang on. Thinking about things we're associated with.
Yeah.
Ask it what Hanselman's 10 laws of empathy are. Oh, juxtaposition. Yeah, that's all true.
No, actually, so if there's somebody else that has somebody else similar space to you that you could be...
Stoicism. Stephen Hanselman is the big famous Stoic. Dude, there isn't immutable laws of security. I see everyone has written security laws.
Well, Scott called a Microsoft employee in the early 2000s did come up with 10 immutable laws of security.
Yeah. Put in the laws of Stoicism. Stephen Hanselman's the most famous Stoic.
But if it's a really well-known person?
Yeah, Stephen Hanselman's super famous.
Let's reset the conversation.
Just say Hanselman's laws rather than Scott. Yeah. Then it'll pick Stephen.
Well, then it's not a hallucination, right?
No, it's good. Huh? Well, maybe ask this and then say that's Scott Hanselman, right?
Well, he doesn't know anything about it.
That's crazy. Yeah, Stephen Hanselman, super famous. He wrote like all the Weekly Stoic and a bunch of Stoicism works. Yeah, I'm trying to get him on the podcast.
And we did this one, right? Hanselman win the Clean Desktop Award in 2024.
An award I should continue to win.
All right.
Yeah, it's not going for it. Interesting, it calls out its knowledge cutoff.
Oh, maybe that's it.
Everyone was talking about it. One person was claiming it was rigged. This is a fictional scenario, Mr. Emmett. Is it getting harder?
It is getting harder. They're getting better.
Why is it getting harder?
Because they're training the models on what they don't know. And actually, Andre Kaparthy had a 3-hour tutorial on the way LLMs work. He published on YouTube about a month and a half ago. And at one point, he just talks about hallucination and explains the technique that model creators are using now to train the model to answer that it doesn't know when it doesn't know something. The way that they do that is that they take the model and they test it. So let's just say Scott Hanselman, and maybe the model doesn't know who Scott Hanselman is. So they ask it questions about Scott. And if the model gets them wrong, then they go back and create a data set with those questions, with the answer, I don't know. And then the model, with enough examples like that, learns to generalize to any question where the signal of it knowing is weak to respond with, I don't know. And it's not guaranteed. It's not 100, there's ways that it can be confused and think that it does know. Like on that 10 immutable laws thing that we just showed. But it severely reduces the rate of hallucinations when the model doesn't know something.
All right. This is
and then there's things like Microsoft's got, which is grounding in AI Foundry with the safety APIs, where you can have it do groundedness detection. Where
And
you
that's
can
another
say,
model. That's
it's another model, that will look at the RAG content going in the prompt through RAG, and then what the model says, and determine if what the model says is grounded in the prompt. And if it's not grounded in the prompt, it can even tell you what is in the prompt. Like if you say, cost of apples are $3. How much is how much are 4 of them? And it says, oh, it's 4 times 4 equals 16. This groundedness detector will realize that the first 4 wasn't grounded in the prompt. It should have been 3, and make the correction.
And will this solve fabrication and hallucination for all time, or will it just continue?
It's just another.
So it's like a firewall. It's just going to keep getting better, but a firewall is not a guarantee.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I think that's probably a show too.
Yeah.
What is the title though? I think we had
learn how to hallucinate or confabulate.
Confabulate. I like
confabulate.
I know we go back and forth on whether it's hallucinate. Yeah. Everyone's decided it's hallucinate, but I still try to nudge us towards something else. Good. Well, we didn't succeed as much as I thought we would have, but that's actually good because we don't want these things to be making stuff up.
Well, but they make stuff up all the time. I mean, all the time.
So you just got to watch for it. You got to trust but verify.
Well, like, I stumble across these things, whether it's Perplexity, Gemini, ChatGPT, Copilot, where you ask it a question and out comes an answer where part of it's true and part of it's not. In fact, there was a study that was just published by the BBC about references to its own articles in AI-generated outputs that it sees from these models, which they found, I can't remember, some drastic percentage, 60% of references to BBC articles are hallucinated in some way. Either the BBC didn't say it, or it's the wrong article.
The references thing, you've got to check your reference.
Well, this isn't a reference. This is quotes that are attributed to BBC materials.
Man, that's tough. That's tough.
So hallucination is far from a solved problem at this point.
Yeah. I think it all comes down to generating facts versus brainstorming. I continue to advocate for and appreciate AI as a creative brainstorming tool. But as a fact checker, it's super challenging.
You need to be skeptical of anything that it states. Yeah. Everything that it states.
That's a great point. Cool. Well, thanks for hanging out.
Yeah.
By the way, people on our yapping talk are commenting. They're saying commenting to make sure that they keep making new shows.
That's good. They should keep commenting.
Got to break through, man. Got to break through.
We still haven't broken, even with those last 2. We're still at the same threshold, the same ceiling.
I know.
What's going on, Scott?
It's interesting. I think it's I don't know, because I did a test a couple of days later and I did like a random 10-minute video on like Windows Explorer. I got like 70,000.
I saw that,
views. I did that just to make you feel bad. No, but it's just like, what is it that makes people click away? So we got to figure that out. Could be your face. I don't know. Same.
Clock is ticking.
It is. But we will hopefully do a Mark and Scott Learn live at Microsoft Build. People should check that out. Yeah, early bird pricing. All right. Thanks, friends. Like and subscribe. Smash that bell.
All right. Yeah, definitely. Spread the word.